Imagine being the most fearless voice in sports broadcasting. Someone who challenged presidents, stood up for civil rights, and changed the way America watched sports. Now imagine that your entire career, your legacy, is shattered by just 6 words spoken in the heat of a live broadcast. This is the story of Howard Cosell, a man who was both a hero and a villain, whose boldness made him unforgettable, and whose one controversial phrase ended his primetime career overnight. On September 5, 1983, during a Monday Night Football game between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, Howard Cosell uttered a phrase that would ignite a firestorm. "That little monkey gets loose, doesn't he?" The comment was directed at Alvin Garrett, a black receiver for the Redskins, as he made a swift, evasive run down the field. What seemed like an offhand remark instantly became a national controversy. The phrase "little monkey" carried a heavy racial charge, especially in the context of American history and the ongoing struggle for civil rights. Civil rights leaders, media outlets, and viewers across the country condemned Cosell, accusing him of racism. The backlash was swift and severe. ABC's phone lines were flooded with angry calls, and the network scrambled to respond. Cosell denied any racist intent, claiming the phrase was a term of admiration for Garrett's agility and speed, not a racial slur. Cosell's defense was that he had used the same phrase affectionately for white players in the past, including Mike Adamel in 1972 and Glenn Hubbard in 1982. He even said it was a term he used with his grandchildren. Alvin Garrett himself publicly stated he was not offended by the comment and had always felt respected by Cosell. Yet, despite these defenses, the damage was done. The public narrative had already painted Cosell as a racist, and the media storm showed no signs of abating. Howard Cosell was no stranger to controversy. Born Howard William Cohen in 1918 to Jewish immigrant parents in Brooklyn, New York, Cosell was never the typical broadcaster. He was intellectual, blunt, and unapologetically outspoken. Before his broadcasting career, he was a successful lawyer, representing high-profile clients like baseball legend Willie Mays. But his true passion was sports broadcasting, where he found his voice as a disruptor. Cosell's rise to fame was marked by his refusal to play it safe. He challenged athletes, coaches, and even presidents. He was the first broadcaster to call Muhammad Ali by his chosen name, standing by the boxer when most of America refused to acknowledge it. When Ali was banned from boxing for refusing to be drafted into the Vietnam War, Cosell continued to defend him publicly, risking his own career in the process. In 1970, ABC launched Monday Night Football, and Cosell became its most recognizable voice. Alongside Don Meredith and Frank Gifford, Cosell brought a new kind of drama to sports broadcasting. His style was theatrical and intellectual, turning football games into cultural events. The tension between Cosell and Meredith, often on air and off, became part of the show's appeal, drawing millions of viewers. But by the early 1980s, the landscape was changing. Younger audiences wanted fresh voices, and the media environment was becoming less tolerant of nuance. Cosell's bluntness, once celebrated, was now seen as arrogance. The little monkey comment was the tipping point. ABC, worried about the controversy's impact on Monday Night Football's ratings and advertiser relationships, distanced itself from Cosell. Though he was never officially fired in a public spectacle, it was clear his time on the show was over. By the end of the 1983 season, Cosell was quietly removed from the broadcast booth. The irony of Cosell's downfall is painful. A man who had spent decades fighting racism and giving voice to the marginalized was now being condemned for a phrase he insisted was not meant to harm. His defenders were notable. Alvin Garrett himself, Muhammad Ali, and civil rights leader Jesse Jackson all spoke out in his favor, highlighting Cosell's long history of advocacy and integrity. Yet, the court of public opinion was unforgiving. The incident became an early example of what we now call cancel culture, where one moment can erase a lifetime of achievements. Cosell's refusal to grovel or apologize in the way the public expected only deepened the divide. After leaving Monday Night Football, Cosell continued to work in radio for a few more years but never regained his former prominence. His health declined in the 1990s, and he passed away in 1995. Today, his legacy remains complicated. He is remembered as a revolutionary figure who changed sports broadcasting forever, but also as a man whose career was undone by a single controversial phrase. Howard Cosell's story forces us to wrestle with difficult questions. Can one mistake erase a lifetime of good? How do we balance intent and impact? And how do we remember those who spoke uncomfortable truths in their time? In the end, Howard Cosell was more than just a broadcaster. He was a voice for the voiceless, a challenger of injustice, and a man who demanded to be heard, even when it cost him everything. His story is a reminder that history is rarely black and white, and that sometimes, the loudest voices are the ones we need to listen to most carefully. What do you think? Was Howard Cosell a victim of misunderstanding, or did he finally cross a line? Drop your thoughts below, and if you found this story compelling, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines.